The state capitol has many stunning artifacts and historical pieces that date back to the early 1900s. There's a gorgeous Arkansas limestone quarried from Batesville, the breathtaking stained glass cupolas in both Senate and House chambers, the 4,000-pound chandelier that hangs in the main rotunda. But there's one other permanent feature that's impossible to miss. The bronze doors purchased from Tiffany Studios back in 1910 for just $10,000. My co-anchor, Kevin Kelly, joins us live from the state capitol with a closer look at what goes into making the jewel of the state capitol shine bright like a diamond. Kevin.
Donna, the bronze doors here at the state capitol have been locked up tight, off limits to the public ever since 9/11. They're only opened for two very special occasions, once every year for Santa Claus, and then anytime a newly elected governor is sworn in. But tonight, we are making history right here on Fox 16 because we are opening the front doors courtesy of Secretary of State John Thurston, because not only do we want to shine the spotlight on these incredible pieces of art, but we also want to focus our attention on the man whose job it is to make sure that when you come down to take a close look at these doors, that you see your reflection crystal clear. Finding the right person.
I usually try to back it in over here, that way in case the wind blows, it don't go anywhere.
For the right job. How many times have you walked up these stairs?
Numerous times.
Is no easy task.
We had a guy back years ago like that was doing them, did a great job, but he ended up getting terminated and they offered it to me.
That was 8 years ago, and ever since then?
Saves my knees, for when I have to get down on the threshold and the track of that.
Richard Adcock has been fixated.
I first put on the Neverdull.
On buffing.
I probably have one of the hardest jobs that there is at the Capitol.
Polishing.
This is my 3M polish.
And how many of these containers do you go through in a week?
Say maybe roughly about 7, maybe.
And wiping all 6 of the state capitol's 10-foot-tall bronze doors.
This is really the whole focal point of the whole Capitol.
A daily grind that takes 4 to 5 hours to complete.
There was days when it first started like that I said, this is an exercise in futility, but the longer I did it, the more I started really believing in myself and my ability.
He's real dedicated. When he gets on something, he's like a pit bull. He just gonna hang on to it. Nobody else can do the doors like him.
They are works of art in which the canvas changes daily.
Clean rags go a long ways toward cleaning it up, making it look as shiny as it does.
But thanks to Richard's attention to detail, they are restored daily to their original beauty.
It ain't easy for everybody to be able to come out and get them as clean as I do from top to bottom.
Over the years, he's had time to reflect on special moments where people stop to admire and praise his hard work.
President Bush's labor secretary, when he was still the sitting president, told me how beautiful they looked. Compliments don't get much higher than that other than the president.
Caked in polish, his hands also tell a story about a man long dedicated to his job.
All in a hard day's work, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All in a hard day's work.
So that others can stop, reflect on their lives, and see clearly into the future. Well, these bronze beauties are 10 feet tall, as I mentioned in the story, but they also weigh 1,300 pounds and they're 4 inches thick. Now, Donna, you mentioned earlier that they were originally bought back in 1910 for $10,000. Well, these bronze beauties are now worth more than $300,000, which explains why Robert gives them so much TLC. As for his future, well, this month he's been at the state capitol for 25 years. He doesn't plan on retiring for another 7 years, so we'll have to wait and see who will take over the responsibilities of making sure these doors shine bright like a diamond. Donna, back to you in the studio.
The doors, Kevin, are absolutely beautiful. Everyone admires those doors. You said he works 4 to 5 hours each day on these doors. So is this a full-time job for him? And when he's not doing this, is he doing something different?
You know, when we were out here interviewing him, he told me he spends the majority of his time on these doors, both inside and out. But he also said that he's polished every other piece of bronze, you know, artifact or material inside the state capitol. So he's pretty busy doing that. But he also does other things around setting up chairs for events, for when the governor comes over here to speak, or some of the legislators come out to talk about a specific bill. But he is a very busy man because he is out here winter, spring, summer, fall. Doesn't matter what the conditions are. He's out here polishing the doors.
Well, I'm sure he takes just as much pride and care with the other things that he does, like he does those doors. They are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And Kevin, what a great story. I'm glad you
really
brought
are.
it to our attention.